Hi guys. In today's videos, I just really want to go over my Reforges and kind of answer the question that people have been asking about Reforges. And when it comes to the builds that I have been sharing, them, especially for PvE, as that's the one I get questioned about a lot when it comes to the amount of damage I'm able to put out and people questioning why and they can't get similar results to what I do in dungeons mainly. So yeah, if you're new to the game and you kind of don't understand what Reforges are, we will go into that as well and explain a little bit at the beginning of this video. But if you do want to see more Necromancer content and continuing to push out as much Necro content as I can possibly think of, then yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Okay, so if you are new to the game and you don't really know what Reforges are, Reforged stones can be earned by doing certain things in the game, mostly from battlegrounds. So if you can get to legend, you will earn 65 for the legend rank that I'm in. But as you just get into legend with a score of 3,000, you can gain 42 of these. Bearing in mind it's every 3 months that the kind of seasons reset. So 42 isn't a lot, but over the period of 3 months, if you can get to legend, then you will gain 42 stones. They are random reforges, so you do need quite a few of these to re-roll all 8 pieces of gear to what you would like them to be, which is something that we have complained about, seeing if they could either 1, give us more reforged stones, or 2, give us shorter seasons so we get more seasons throughout the year to be able to gain more reforged stones. So the only other way you can really gain these is if you go to the Hilts trader on a weekly basis and you can actually buy 8 of these. And recently I have been buying the 8 every week just so I can have them extra reforged stones because I never have enough. They do cost hilts, 200 each, so you got to be able to have enough of them hilts to be able to buy them. I think the only other place you can really get these is from the battle pass, and I believe you get them fairly early on. Am I correct in saying that? You get 3 here at rank 26. Is there any more other than that? I think that is it from what I remember. Is there any more? 3 there at rank 26 like we just said, and that is the lot. So there is no way of getting them. And I have called for, you know, other creators to make aware to Blizzard that there needs to be more of these being added to the game for PvE ways of getting to get these stones, whether that be through Vanguard, whether that be through challenge rifts, whether that be through something PvE wise. We need more. You know, now we've got a 3rd slot for Reforges. We definitely need to have more of these stones dropping so we can make use of that 3rd extra slot. So let me head over to my warband and we will go to the blacksmith and you'll see what I use for my setup. So over to the blacksmith, into services, into Reforge. Now, like I mentioned, we do have 3, and as you can see, the bottom 3rd one is going to be my tests and summon builds, which I haven't got enough stones to start doing yet, and hopefully over the next couple of months I will have, and I'll be able to push some videos out for people that love summons. I think summons are great, but at this moment in time, I feel that my build that I'm using would do more than summons, more than enough damage for what I need, and I think it would do more damage than summons. So I will go just over the PvP for this one, PvE for this one, simply because I think PvP ones are kind of very linked to the build you're using. So for instance, for Golem, you would use a lot of kind of barrier stones, shield for your shields, and for a kind of aggressive dive fear Necromancer, you would use maybe something similar to what we'd use in PvE. Maybe with instead of loss of control there, your demons, you would actually use to shield enemies, you know, do more damage to enemies that are shielded maybe. But that's something we can go into in another video. The question that I've been asked a lot is, how comes you do so much more damage than me in dungeons? And the main reason will be the Reforges. And that's why we're talking about this today. I use a 3-piece Vengeance, which when you're using Vengeance, it gives you your primary attacks a 2% chance to increase all the damage you deal by 100% for 1 second. That's great. But the 2 main reasons you want to use Vengeance is damage to demons and damage to enemies suffering loss of control. Simply because most enemies that we go up against in PvE are demons, so getting a damage increase to them is just great. Then loss of control, we're using in dungeons, and I know I am, and there is another build that I will be putting out over the next 2 weeks, which is going to showcase this build, that are used for dungeons, which has already been showcased before by Orof. So if you haven't seen his dungeon build, go have a look. And he did kind of put these Reforges in his build back then. I'll put a link to his channel in my description. But the main reason we use loss of control is simply because our golem, devouring golem, has a slow. So the devouring golem goes to a target location and it's got an unlimited duration, deals continual damage, and slows nearby enemies. Its size and maximum life and damage and attack range are increased for every corpse it consumes. So yeah, this is a great golem. Great golem. When it summons, it deals damage to nearby enemies and stuns them for 2 seconds. So the loss of control you're getting is a slow. So every enemy that goes within this barrier here, this circle from a golem, will have a loss of control effect on them. So if you're with your golem, you're going to do massive amounts of damage, especially if you do what I do. You stack loss of control on every single piece. Every single piece. And that way, you're gaining much more damage to them enemies that are being controlled. As you'll see, demons is on every single piece as well. I believe apart from one, which I still got to reroll, which is this one, which has got the shielded enemies on it. Oh, actually, it's in PvP. So this one has got demons. So I correct myself there. Demons. We've got demons, and demons. There we go. So we have got demons and loss of control on everything. With attack speed. Attack speed will generally affect the cast time of your kind of skills, and it will affect your speed of your primary. The only other two Reforges that you really want to make sure you've got is definitely top of the list is beneficial effects. This will affect the duration of your gems, and it will affect the duration of things like bone armor and other skills that are in the game. The other one that I'm still debating on is whether crit or skill damage is the best one to go for. I think I've got skill damage still on one of my pieces of gear, yes. And I will, once I got enough stones, reroll to all skill and compare. So that is your choice really on that one. If you want to go all crit, and I do love crit, I think crit to me is just a great stat to go for. But I do want to compare it to this all skills to see what kind of happens when you have that on every single piece. Now, if you're using a summon set, you may want to go for kind of, you know, the summons increased damage on these. I personally would say still taking damage to demons and damage from to enemies suffering loss of control on a summons build would be a requirement in challenge dungeons, because it just adds so much damage. Whether that out damages the increase to damage to summons is yet to be tested. Leave that with me, or if you have got the ability to test it out, put your results in the comments. That would be great to see. But this is kind of what I roll, and yeah, this is why I do so much damage. To the point where people message me saying, I've got the same build as you, I've got a similar resonance to you, my secondary stats are very similar to yours, but you do like hundreds of millions more damage than me. Why? This is why. The only reason why. So these are the rerolls that you need to do on your Reforges for all PvE content, whether that be summon based at this moment in time or non-summons. Definitely go ahead and use it. So any questions about that, leave them in the comments below. I will try and answer as many as I possibly can, and I'm sure there are other necromancers out there that will help answer them questions as well. But I think that is it for this video. Like I said at the beginning, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will definitely see you in the next one.